Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. You know how unpredictable the NFL can be, and right now, there's a seismic shift happening in the AFC, and it involves the Steelers in a big way. A lot of insiders, including some trusted sources like Rossini, are whispering about a strategic move that could shake up the division and even the entire conference. It's not just about a player trade. It's about a shift in power, a move that could redefine where the Steelers stand heading into the postseason. And it all revolves around a very intriguing trade involving a key player from Pittsburgh that's got everyone talking. The Steelers, sitting at a solid 4-1 record and holding about $20 million in cap space, have decided to part ways with their tight end, Pat Freiermuth, sending him to Las Vegas in exchange for a third-round pick in the 2026 draft and W.R. Tucker. Now, this move might seem surprising on the surface, but when you look deeper, it's a calculated decision that's all about addressing needs and creating opportunities. The Steelers have been prioritizing their secondary and focusing on building a more versatile and explosive offense. They're confident that their core, especially the younger talent like Darnell Washington, can step up, and freeing up cap space with this trade allows them to reinforce their roster in other areas. Pat Freiermuth, drafted out of Penn State in 2021, has been a revelation for Pittsburgh. This guy has been playing at a Pro Bowl level in 2024, and if you've been watching the games, you know what I'm talking about. He's been a top 15 tight end in most major stats, hauling in 62 receptions for 680 yards and 5 touchdowns. His average yards per catch is around 11.0, which puts him among the elite in the league, and his EPA per target is plus 0.15, which is outstanding. His PFF grade is a solid 82.3, ranking him 15th among tight ends, and his yards after catch average is 5.5, top 12 in the league. He's also got an impressive contested catches percentage of 48%, placing him in the top 15, and his blocking grade is around 79.1, showing he's not just a receiving threat but also a reliable blocker. In 2025, injuries limited him a bit, specifically a sprained ankle that caused him to miss 2 games, but even with that, he remains a significant threat. Last season, he had 15 receptions, about 30th among tight ends, for 180 yards and 1 touchdown, but it's in the red zone where he's really shining. His red zone touchdown rate is about 20%, which is among the best, and in Week 3 against the Chiefs, he had 5 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown, plus a plus 0.16 EPA per play. His career totals are around 500 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns, with a route win rate at 58%. That's the kind of player who can make a difference in crunch time, and that's exactly why the Raiders are so excited to have him. Now, why would the Steelers do this? Well, it's about balancing their roster and planning for the future. They're pretty confident in their playoff chances, especially with AFC North odds at plus 2,000, but they're also looking at the bigger picture. They've been focusing on extending their rookies like Darnell Washington, who has shown flashes of brilliance, and freeing up cap space with this trade gives them more flexibility to make moves down the line. Plus, they're betting on their young core to step up, and perhaps with the addition of Tucker, who's a talented young wide receiver, they see an opportunity to inject some youthful energy into their receiver core. But let's talk about the Raiders now, because this isn't just a move for Pittsburgh. Las Vegas, sitting at 1-4 and in the midst of a rebuild, gains a prolific tight end that can really elevate their offense. Freiermuth is projected to rack up around 900 yards and 7 touchdowns for the Raiders, and his presence should significantly boost their red zone efficiency, moving from around 50% to nearly 70%. That's a game changer, especially when you consider how much of a difference a reliable target like him can make in those critical moments. His chemistry with quarterback Minshew is expected to grow, and that plus 15% EPA per pass is nothing to overlook. And it's not just about the individual stats. Freiermuth, compared to other tight ends like Bowers, shows an advantage of plus 1. 6 yards per route and an 18% increase in yards after catch efficiency, making him a real mismatch for defenses. The Raiders are also seeing early production from Josh Jacobs, with around 400 rushing yards already, and adding Freiermuth to the mix means more explosive plays, roughly 10 more per game, according to some analysts. Their offense, which struggled earlier this season with a PFF grade around 77.3, is expected to jump to over 83, making them much more dangerous in the second half of the season. Now, the impact on the playoff odds is clear. The Super Bowl odds for the Raiders have plummeted from plus 120,000 to a more reasonable plus 5,000, and their chances of contending in the AFC are now at plus 600. Freiermuth is being seen as a potential X-factor in the postseason, especially in the red zone, where his route running and ability to win contested catches could be decisive. The Raiders are hoping to reduce turnovers by about 10%, and with Freiermuth's reliable hands and route running, they're betting on him to be a key piece in their resurgence. Back to the Steelers, this trade signifies a strategic pivot. They're betting on their ability to develop their rookies and extend their window of contention. It's a move reminiscent of some of the great tight ends in NFL history, like Dallas Clark at his peak with the Colts in 2009. An elite player who can boost the offense's efficiency, especially in critical zones like the red zone, where the Steelers are looking to improve after a slight dip in EPA per pass when Freiermuth is off the field. This trade isn't just about a player swap, it's about a vision. Pittsburgh is setting the stage for a sustained playoff push, and by trading away Freiermuth, they're creating space and flexibility for future acquisitions, possibly even bolstering their secondary to keep pace with the AFC's top teams. It's a bold move, and one that might be controversial among some fans, but the numbers and the strategic thinking behind it make a lot of sense. The Steelers are clearly looking at the bigger picture, aiming to stay competitive and maybe even surprise some skeptics by making a deep playoff run with their new-look offense. Meanwhile, the Raiders are betting big on Freiermuth's talent to elevate their offense and turn things around after a tough start. His ability to create separation, win contested catches, and contribute in the red zone makes him a perfect fit for their needs. It's fascinating to see how this move could ripple through the AFC landscape, affecting division standings, playoff seedings, and even the narrative of the season. And let's not forget, the division itself is becoming more volatile. With the Steelers making strategic adjustments and the Raiders trying to find their footing, we could be in for one of the most exciting second halves in recent AFC history. The Steelers, with their solid defense and a now more flexible offense, are still very much in the hunt, especially if they can maximize their rookies' development and continue to get strong contributions from their core players. The AFC North is tightening up, and every game counts more than ever. So, what does all of this mean for Steelers fans? It means that your team is actively working towards a future where they can contend not just for a playoff spot, but for another Super Bowl. The moves they're making now, including this trade, are about building a roster that's balanced, versatile, and capable of competing at the highest level. And it's exciting to see how the young players like Darnell Washington and the veteran leadership emerging from this new dynamic will shape what's to come. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this trade? Do you think it's a smart move by the front office? Are you excited about what Tree Tucker and the future holds for your team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Thanks for being here, and as always, go Steelers.